Welcome to Hoovie's Garage, the dumbest automotive channel in all of YouTube, and this is my 2004 Dodge Ram 2500 Cummins diesel that has 995,000 miles on it. I purchased it earlier this week, drove it back from Salt Lake City, 1,000 miles without any issues. Everything works in this truck, is in excellent condition despite the insane mileage. Now, the original owner was a hotshot driver. He would take parts that were needed urgently in the oil field and rush them out to the site, which is why it racked up so many miles so quickly. And I know a lot of you have questions about this truck. How is it so nice with so many miles? Why do you jump out in every single video, and why are you such an idiot? Well, you know the answers to those questions. I'm just dumb. But the truck itself, well, it's quite a freak. Now, I don't have the service history and the fact that I have like a stack full of papers this thick, but I do have the Carfax report, which has like 200 service records on it. And mostly it's just religious maintenance, like aircraft style, on the mark maintenance of oil changes, fluid changes, everything people usually miss, like doing differentials and transmission services. Now, I know a lot of you are asking about the transmission, and they do fail a lot on these. I don't have a record of any transmission rebuild, but I mean, probably. There's like a dozen listings of the transmission being checked, and I imagine in some of them they were rebuilt. And this thing shifts so firmly now, like it has a better shift kit in it, that I imagine it was rebuilt once or twice. But things that I do know that were replaced: suspension, obviously. The front hubs, the axles were replaced. The drive shaft was replaced, and the AC compressor replaced twice. Otherwise, a lot of maintenance. There's only one instance in the Carfax of a vehicle no-start towing situation, and in that they listed the engine being cleaned and the battery being replaced. I'm pretty certain this is the original Cummins diesel engine with almost 1 million miles on it, which is quite a feat, but really it's just all maintenance. Most people, when they buy a truck like this, they take care of it for a while, then it gets older and cheaper, not worth all that much, so then they just drive it literally into the ground. They don't wash it as much, so it gets all rusty, and then, well, it ends up like this. Happy trails, Dodge. Oh! Oh no! Now let's go see it get shredded. Here it comes. See you in another life. Oh, it's smoking. Oh, there's bits flying out of it. It's on fire. What a way to go. Wow. Well, good night, sweet prince. Hopefully you don't become a Kia. That's my latest episode of Car Issues, live right now on Motor Trend Plus. 2 Dodge Dakotas, and one meets a fate that's normal for these Dodges. But this one, well, it just looks so nice. A little bit of rust on the back, but otherwise in fantastic condition. But there are some leaks, and they could be bad, but we're gonna find out right now as we head to the Car Wizards. But before we head up to the Car Wizard, I'd like to thank Policy Genius for sponsoring today's video and being a continued sponsor to the channel. Winter is coming. 'Tis the season for frozen pipes and slick roads, so it's a great time to make sure you have the right insurance for the right price. Policy Genius can save you tons of money, as it's America's leading online insurance marketplace. I've gotten great feedback from viewers about using Policy Genius, and if you've been holding out, do yourself a favor and try it out. Policy Genius makes it easy to compare home and auto insurance in one place, and they can help you find home and auto coverage similar to what you have now, but at a lower price. They save shoppers up to $1,250 per year over what they were paying for home and auto insurance. I know you probably have had the same insurance company for years, and it may have been a good deal at first, but from my experience, insurance companies tend to start lower, then gradually raise premiums over time, often at a rate you don't notice until before you know it, you're overpaying. And when you have a hoopty fleet like mine, insurance is very important, but not only the best value on insurance, but the best coverage for what you need, and Policy Genius is here to help. Getting started with Policy Genius is easy. First, head to policygenius.com/hoovies and answer a few quick questions about yourself and your property. Then Policy Genius takes it from there. They'll compare rates from America's top insurers, from Progressive to Allstate, to find your lowest quotes. the Policy Genius team can look for ways to save you more, including bundling your home and auto insurance. If they find you a better rate than what you're paying now, they'll switch you over for free. Their top-notch services earn Policy Genius thousands of 5-star reviews across Trustpilot and Google. Policy Genius never sells your information to other companies, and they do not add extra fees. So support me and my generous regular sponsors by going to policygenius.com/hoovies and save yourself some money. And look at that, 995, 521 miles as we enter the highway, and everything works. But it really makes sense that everything should work, because if this is your livelihood, getting to a spot quickly with a vitally needed part to get people back to work, you need to maintain your equipment, well, perfectly. So it'll work reliably like this, which is exactly why this Dodge has lasted so long. Now, another question you all have is, why would somebody quit with this thing so close to the finish line, being 995,000 miles? And well, the truth is, it looks like the original owner slowed down a little bit on the mileage. I think he got a second truck that he was using primarily, a Duramax, I'm told, and he actually gave this truck to his brother-in-law, who passed away. So it was short of the finish line. His brother-in-law was driving it, he passed, and then they were selling it on consignment. He already had another truck or two that he was driving for his job, so that's the story. And that's why I'm the lucky guy that gets to drive this thing, well, 4,500 miles to the finish line, hopefully without any serious issues, and then I can celebrate 1,000,000 miles with this Cummins. I mean, it's kind of like my YouTube channel. Somebody else has done all the work, like the Car Wizard or the Car Ninja, and then I get to enjoy the benefits of that work and show it all to you on YouTube. Or end up breaking their hard work and it ends up going back for more, which hopefully that doesn't happen. We're so close to the finish line. This thing's driving so well.
Wizard! Woohoo!
Take a look at that. 995,552.
I've never seen that before. This is like the 1,000,000-mile Lexus.
It's my 1,000,000-mile Cummins.
Cummins, yes.
Wizard, I actually just got a text from the seller, the dealer that was representing this guy, was on consignment, and got a little more information on this thing. So, 3 transmissions it's had.
3?
3. I mean, once every 300,000 miles isn't that bad. But there's some suspension work, 2 AC compressors. Otherwise, it's just all maintenance, like 200 maintenance records. And
wow.
Well, in your life, before all these exotics and car wizards, when you were growing your beard of knowledge, you worked on a lot of farm trucks, a lot of old rigs. And it sounds like I'm asking you your favorite male porn star, but are you a fan of Mr. Cummins, Mr. Duramax, or Mr. Power Stroke?
I am up to about 06, 7, 8 in that range. And then I believe diesel trucks, it doesn't matter the brand, they all went downhill, and it's because of emissions.
Yeah.
Any newer truck you get today, I actually know some guys that haul for a living, and their truck, it seems like every 2 months, is down in reduced power mode for emission systems, and it's tens of thousands to fix those. It can be. So these older ones,
this is it.
This is the ticket.
I agree with you, but eventually these trucks are going to get too old to be practical, and then they just start falling apart from age.
Yeah.
But this one, I mean, it's just exceptional. The body, just a little bit of rust in the back, but can you believe it? It's almost 1,000,000 miles. And look under the hood. The presentation of this thing.
I would never guess that it has almost 1,000,000 miles on it. I never would.
You wouldn't guess it has 200,000 miles on it. It's exceptional.
It's crazy. I can tell it's had a new radiator, a new condenser. I don't know when that was put on.
Oh, you're not a fan of those, I know.
No, I'm not. You can see why. This one's not been serviced ever. It's not. It's completely bone dry.
But it does give you a nice view of the turbo, though.
Yeah. There she is, the big turbo. And if it went bad, it's easy to change. It's right there.
Yeah, the only thing that I noticed is some leaks. I think there's some wetness underneath, but everything works. Suspension, brakes feel really tight. It's a freak. This thing really is a freak.
Brand new condenser. It is a freak, you're right. I actually have never seen a pickup truck with 1,000,000 miles on it. I've seen 300,000 or 400,000. That's about the tops.
Mm-hmm. Well, should we get up in the air?
Let's do it.
I think I'm going to hear beefy out of you a lot, aren't I?
Well, it's a no-brainer that it's been well maintained. It wouldn't make it this far if it hadn't been. So.
Right, but this big solid front axle. Oh, never mind.
Oof.
That's
Power steering pump is leaking. See it right here?
well, apparently it's original.
It probably is. It's like the timing cover is leaking along the front there.
So that's my oil drip.
Yep.
It's built up quite a interesting formation over time. It looks like it's a living organism.
It kind of does. Here's your new compressor you talked about.
It does look brand new versus the power steering pump, which you showed earlier. That's old.
Yeah. Steering gearbox has got a little bit of seepage. See the power steering fluid right there?
Mm-hmm.
Let's taste it. Let's make sure. Yep, it's power steering fluid.
Okay.
Brakes are good. Nothing loose there.
What kind of hub is that?
This is, right here's a,
Old spindle or whatever?
yeah. This is the knuckle. 2 big ball joints.
Very old school.
And here's our axle shaft. Nice and tight. Brakes are good. Nothing loose. Did it steer nice and straight?
Oh,
for you?
it's wonderful. And as you can see, the tires are about half worn, but worn evenly, so that's even more positive sign.
Yes. Differential's really not leaking.
And huge.
There is a tiny seepage from the pinion seal, but it's not really worth a teardown yet.
Uh-huh.
That looks like a new drive shaft. See the stickers?
Yep. Which that is in the maintenance records.
There's the double cardan joint. It's 2 U-joints in a row right there. Looks like the oil pan gasket is leaking.
Not as bad as the timing cover, though.
It doesn't have a lot of blow-by, or this would just be a whole bunch of oil coming out of that. So that's
No,
good.
actually none. When I took the cap off when it was running,
Yeah.
none. It was insane.
That makes sense why that's nice and clean. Transmission gasket. It's a little bit of seepage. It just needs the gasket replaced.
Okay. Well, it wouldn't be a bad idea to service the trans.
It is. Yes. Transfer case has a little bit of seepage, but that could be from the transmission blowing all this over here.
Yeah, it looked a little wet, but not bad, huh?
No, it's not bad. This is all from the transmission pan. This seal, the output seal here, is leaking. See the red?
Mm-hmm.
That needs to be done. That is girthy. It even sounds girthy.
Yes, it does. Exhaust has probably been replaced.
Yeah, you can see it says MagnaFlow right there.
Okay.
Original fuel tank. The U-joints are all good. I want to check something. I heard it when you came in. It's like a clunk when you went in. There's a little bit of play in the differential. When you put it into gear, it was like clunk.
Hmm.
And it's probably just all the miles on the teeth of the differential.
Anything I should be worried about?
Not immediately, but it may be at some point that needs to be rebuilt.
Okay.
It's got airbags,
Yes.
and they're actually holding air.
This thing used to tow trailers and such. It was a hotshot vehicle for the oil field.
That explains the differential. Brakes look good. There's nothing wet, axle seal or anything leaking there. Everything looks good there. Shocks are good. They're not leaking oil. A spare tire, which has air. This is amazing.
It is impressive. It is oily for sure. There are a lot of leaks, which I sort of knew when I bought it. Yeah, nothing earth-shattering, but is it going to be expensive?
Well, I really need to sit down and calculate and run the numbers. I don't think it's going to be that bad, but really, we'll have to see.
Okay, well, before we go in there, tell me about the Ferrari. I see it's all apart. I had it up here for a hard start condition. You fixed it and saved me like $3,000 with these aftermarket fuel pressure regulators that are working perfectly.
Yep.
And then I wanted you to give it a service and a once over and you notice a leak.
Yeah, it's coming right out in the corners here, on all four corners of both valve cover gaskets.
Oh. So how big of a job is that? I see you've already got the intakes off and things.
Yep, it's just the plenums have to come off, and then you take the valve cover off. There's some end gaskets back there and some seals. It's not that big of a job, really.
And you've got the other gated 456, another customer's car.
For the same job.
The same job?
Yeah.
The 150,000 mile Rolls Royce is back, I see.
Yep, more leaks. This time it's a fuel leak, supposedly.
Oh, fuel? Not mineral oil.
No, not mineral oil this time.
It's
fuel.
a miracle.
Yeah.
Euronation Bob's Euro 500. That's a beautiful car. And then he also bought this DB7, the Car Trek car. What's going on with the window? That's why it's up here.
Yeah, both of the window control modules have failed. We got those off to be rebuilt. And also there's an ionization misfire detection module that's gone bad on this.
Oh.
That's off to be rebuilt as well.
Well, this one was working.
It was, until we tried to do some testing and it just stopped. And its module died. But the guy that rebuilds them said that that's fairly common. Within a week or two of the other, they just fail.
That's really odd. And then one other vehicle that you have that I really admire is this Avalanche here, which is not just any Avalanche, it is the big block one.
Yes. We just did a dash job. We're finishing up doing an AC compressor and a few things. It'll be out of here, but it's very rare.
The 3/4 ton, you can see it's got the big lug wheels, and then the 8100 8.1 liter. This is pretty much unobtainium here. Well, should we count up the issues there? Hopefully it's not $1 million, dollar per mile, right?
We could do 50 cents per mile. I'd be happy with that.
Well, Wizards shopping for American classics here. Herman Miller?
Yeah, it's only around $5 grand. I could replace this office chair. I mean,
What's wrong with your office chair? It seems just fine.
just, that one would be so much nicer, though.
$5,000. That is a beautiful chair, but you're not getting it from the Cummins. You know, I've been sitting in this chair for a couple of years now, falling backwards in it. It's sturdy, it's fine.
Yeah, but it's not a Herman Miller.
It is not an Eames chair, no.
Well, I got all the numbers together. I purposely rounded them up so I can buy the chair there.
Hit me.
The power steering pump, to remove it and replace it, we saw the leak, $350.
It's not bad, but there was a little in the rack or whatever.
The gearbox?
The gearbox, yes.
One thing we could do, being that it has almost 1 million miles, we could put some conditioner in it that would reseal it. You're not losing anything because those things are already at end of life anyway.
Okay.
It might gain you some time. Then we could replace both of those, which is going to be pretty expensive.
All right. But just $350 for the power steering pump itself.
Yes.
Or we could just service it and condition it. So we'll do that. Moving on.
Okay, timing cover gasket, $450. That includes a new belt and pulling the harmonic balancer and everything apart. It's not a hard job, but it has some time involved.
Okay, not bad.
Oil pan gasket, $400.
It doesn't have to come off to get the timing cover off?
No, the timing cover on the front, it's like a plate that's just on the front of it.
But I imagine you're saving time, you know. You could
time?
Right, you're there.
Well,
Okay, all right.
I got a chair to buy.
Okay.
Transmission pan gasket service, $300. That's the fluid, the filter, the gasket, and everything.
Normal standard stuff, yep.
Output seal on the transfer case, $125. The cost of the seal, pull the drive shaft and do all that, and reseal it.
New fluid.
The differential's worn. It's probably got quite a bit of life left in it, but when it comes time to rebuild that, you're looking at probably more than the Mustang one was, $1,500 to do this.
Oh yeah, because the Mustang was a little over half that when it went out. So, I mean, it's heavy duty rear end, but
yeah, the gears are this big and not this big.
yeah, I imagine it's still got some time.
So if we do the conditioner and we don't do the differential, we're going to be right around $1,400. If we do everything, it's $3,250.
You had me going because you're looking at that chair. So it's only like $1,500.
Yeah.
And it's perfect.
It will be, yes.
With almost 1 million miles on it.
It's amazing. It really is.
It's absolutely astounding.
It's so exciting. You could buy me that chair.
For Christmas?
Yes.
Maybe ask the wife. Jenny's watching. We go in half on it?
I don't know. Maybe because I sit in that chair to write payroll.
Thank you for watching.